Hi, I'm Matt from HockeyReviews.ca, and this is the Warrior Alpha DX Pro glove snapshot review. So I didn't buy these gloves to actually wear on the ice, so I won't be bringing them on the ice. That's not what this review is about. But snapshot reviews are where I find a piece of gear that I really like or think deserves to be talked about, or a company has made such big changes from the ones before that it deserves to be talked about, or if a glove is so bad or a piece of equipment is so bad that it deserves to be talked about. This Warriors made huge changes between their Alpha DXs and QXs that I feel the need to talk about them. And so here we are. I did an impact protection test on this one and the DX itself, which is this glove right here. So that will be linked in the description at the end of this video. I basically smashed my hand with a mini stick to test the testing on things, or test the protection on things. So check that out if you're interested. This one will be going over the DX Pro and the QX Pro, kind of talking about them. I'll also have a video talking about the differences between the DX Pro and the DX itself, so check that out as well. So now on to first a little bit of overview of the Warrior Alpha gloves. So when Warrior came out with the Alpha gloves 2 years ago, they're the new version of 4-roll gloves. They're more of a tapered fit, and they're kind of, how do I explain this? They're tapered and they went for a whole new philosophy basically. These were going to be a bit snugger, but super broken in. So they went for a butter soft feel where the glove, you put it on your hand off the wall, and it feels like it feels like it's been on your hand for years, and it's totally broken into, and it feels fantastic. Now and super light as well. So when they did that, they sacrificed a lot of protection to make that happen, and I was very critical about those gloves. I never really wore these gloves for games. I wore them basically for shooting, and that's it. They're super comfortable, but I didn't trust them in terms of protection, so I was kind of iffy about them because of that. Now, we come to the Alpha DX Pro, and there are some changes to these. Some are very significant, so I'm going to talk about them. But first of all, when you look at them from the just right off the bat, they don't look that different. A little bit of graphics change. That's about it. Maybe some different foam design right there, but not a ton of changes here. Pretty close to being the same, but that's only on the external look. I have seen some people comment that these are basically the same gloves. They're not. The cut, like the design of it, is basically the same glove. These ones are much better. So right off the hop, the cuff and everything is pretty much the same. Protection wise, it's basically the same. There's not a huge change there. The first big change is actually the liner material, where before Warrior has had this kind of material with this design in it forever, or for a very long time. They took the kind of the detailing out, or the little black dots on it. It's kind of smoother now. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but this has kind of been happening on all of Warrior's gear in the last while. Warrior was really kind of famous for their liner material. It's still Polygene, so I'm curious of why they actually made those changes. I'm not sure, but that is the first change that I've noticed when looking at this. So the next change is, I guess, actually in the foam itself. So besides the graphics and the look, the next change is the middle finger. So the middle finger is now 3-piece segmented versus 2. So before, 3-piece was only on the QX. Now it's on the DX Pro, so one step down as well. Also, that'll be in the comparison video. So that's about the same. All the gussets are the same. The palm feels the exact same. I really like this palm. I'm a huge fan. They're just standard Nash palm. It feels pretty comfortable. It feels nice and broken in. So the big change between these two gloves. So these were kind of the Phantom foam, or at least it was on, where is it? Right here, Phantom foam. So it was a lighter weight foam that was very soft. So you get these gloves, and you can see how soft these fingers are. You can really squish them. They're super soft. That is completely changed. So now they're using something called the Impacts foam. Actually, you can see it right there, Impacts. So you look at these fingers, not as squishy, much more dense foam. So you get much more protection there. I'm a huge fan of this change. These are much more protective gloves than what they were before. So Warrior really listened to someone. I'm going to pretend it's me for this video because I'm going to give myself credit I probably don't deserve. Anyways, the next big change is, in order to make your butter soft feel, you kind of don't stitch things as tight, and so you leave some gaps. It makes it feel really broken in. That also leaves your fingers exposed. So you go like this, and you can actually touch, without any protection, all your fingers all through there. Now that's pretty dangerous in my eyes. You can get sticks, pucks, everything like that there. I actually wore the other ones, had my hand on the ice like this. I got a puck snuck in there and it killed. Was not happy with that. With this design, I could stick a stick right in there. So if you got slash, that's going right on your fingers. That's not good. And that would feel right on the fingers as well as you get a stick. Hopefully that was on camera. If you get a stick like this, that's right on your fingers, that hurts. That's not good. Now we go to the DX Pro, which is the upgraded one. And you can still feel on the pinky a little bit, but not much. Right there, I can't actually touch my finger. Can't touch my finger. Can't touch my finger. Can't touch my finger. Can't touch my finger. They really increase the foams on here. Now, the one thing this does is you can see how the pinky doesn't really sit straight because they are tightened a little close like that. It's a small drawback for this. I think it's totally fine. And it's a huge improvement. So if we take the stick again, and this is kind of hard to finagle around, so I apologize. You can no longer, like you can still fit it through these two right here, but I can't feel that on my hand, and you can't on the other ones. It's a huge improvement. Like that, I can't actually feel that on my hand where I could on the other one. Again, huge improvement for protection. Warrior did a great job on this, and they deserve credit for it. So when I put these two gloves on, one thing I found that they did a little different with the DXs is I feel like they kind of made it a little bit snugger on the inside. Now, I'm not sure if that's because the foams are thicker, or there's more of them, or more protection, or what, or they just sewed everything a little tighter. This one definitely feels a little bit snugger in my hand compared to the old one, so it feels a bit looser. I wouldn't say that's because they're broken in, because honestly, these gloves, I never really had to break them in, and I never really used them enough to break them in. This one just feels snugger out of the box. With that said, when you tighten things, you do feel like, or stitch things tighter, you can kind of feel it in some places. Mine is on the webbing of my fingers. So I normally wear 15 inch for most of my gloves. These are 14 inches because I compared them to a franchise 14 to see how they actually fit. With that said, I jam my fingers to the ends always. My fingers are right there. I don't really feel on the webbing of my fingers right here. This one is, I don't know what they did, but it's soft. It's not really uncomfortable. With the DX Pro, I can definitely feel on my webbing right there. And when I jam my fingers into the end, I can definitely feel, so you kind of have to wear these ones a little bit differently. I always jam my fingers in, it's just how I wear my gloves. So that I noticed on that. Not a huge complaint, kind of me nitpicking now. And now, would I suggest people go out and buy the Alpha? If you're looking into 4-rolls, quite possibly. I'm a fan of the CCM 4-roll personally, but this one is much more broken in and much more modern feeling than the new CCM 4-roll. This has a 3-piece index and middle finger. CCM doesn't. And this has a, this does feel like a nice glove. I like the palm on this better than the DX just itself, but check out their comparison for that. I think this is a decent glove. I could never recommend the QX to anyone because of protection. DX, I think it's actually pretty decent. They did a great job on it. It's a good job for Warrior, and I recommend people to check it out. It's definitely not as comfortable out of the box as the QX, but it's a pretty comfortable glove, and it's definitely better made in terms of actual protection and everything like that. So huge props for Warrior on that. So that's about it for this video. There will be a comparison between the DX Pro and the DX glove right after this, or in the description, and should be at the end of the video as well. There'll be a link to the protection test of this glove, as well as a review, like snapshot review of the DX of this family as well. So check those out. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave them below. I'll try to answer them best I can. Remember to like this video, subscribe to me on YouTube, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Links to those are in the description. Helps me get gear like this so I can do reviews on and talk about it. Because I would love to try these on the ice, but I just can't justify spending the money for this set and the other set and just wearing a few times to do a review. So we get a snapshot review. But if you ever purchase a piece of equipment because of one of my videos, please reach out to the manufacturer and let them know on social media. Helps me get on the radar, again, so I can get more gear, so I can do some more videos for you and make some more content. So thank you very much for watching, and take it easy.